Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Operation Status Quo. We're gonna let it flow. You gotta let it all go and then just go with that flow. Once you let it go, you go after the flow. Hold on, the static, okay, it's gone. My sound effects. How we doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. This is the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then, of course, most importantly, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, that's what I like to know, what you guys are doing out there. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we do know that if you are not living your flow of quo, you are most certainly living someone else's flow, and that is a no-no right here on Operation Status Quo. All right, looks like I got everything set up. It's like every time I start, I get all my buttons in order and stuff. I got like 6 things going on. It's a wonder sometimes if people, really, anyway, I'm not just sitting here talking is what I'm saying. It seems that way. It seems that way. Anyway, let me get into it. We have to get into the vibe as we progress here on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. We don't just come on. Some people have everything all pre-planned, ready to go, boop, 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 boop. But I don't do it that way. I'm a man of the people, as I always talk about. I like free expression, free form. This is the live stream of consciousness. We just kind of let the show develop and be what it's meant to be as it unfolds, as we sit here together and enjoy our time together, right? So I said all that stuff. Today is, I'm reviewing in my mind what I already said. So today is the 27th of August in the good year 2025, and today's program is Position Your Mission. That's right. Our world, ladies and gentlemen, as I talk about all the time, is I guess let me say it like this. Let me come back, because I have a few things. I actually made notes for this one. I texted myself a bunch of stuff because I was kind of thinking what I wanted to say, and I know I go on these long tangents all the time, and I talk in circles. So I'm going to try to say it in a more concise way, a little bit. At least read what I wrote and expand upon what I have there. But yeah, so what was I going to say there? Yes, the gist of what I want to try. First of all, before I get into all that what I'm talking about, let me let you know that we do have a guest today on the OSQ Starlink satellite. Will be coming up a little bit later in the show, and we also have probably try to do some news you need not know here today for you, the beautiful people of the world as well. All right. So anyway, I really wanted to kind of just get this little kind of thought across. It's all my thoughts are pretty small. I want to get this thought across as a reminder of everything I talk about and what we try to do here on Operation Status Quo. I always say this is a place of love, right? It's a place of just kind of observing the world. There's no labels, there's no attachments, there's no judgments of good, bad, right, wrong, all that type of stuff. We try to keep all that out of it and just kind of really just focus on what it even means to exist, and for us really to have the realization and the awareness of existence itself. And that's the main point. I'm going to say it first before I forget. The main point of what I want to kind of express today is really just living, I should say, or being aware of trying to live. I say it like that as well, of realizing living life from the inside out, as opposed to all the time we live our lives the outside in, right? The way we were born, the way we were raised and brought up and conditioned and such, we look at it as like this is everything. The world out there is everything, and we're kind of subjugated to its means and ends of how it operates and such. But if we don't look at it that way, if we look at it from the way that the outside world is the reflection, and we're living from within first, and then we're creating what's out there. Just think about how much that changes the game, right? Instead of each of us as individuals having to run around and chase after, or you trying to create or living in fear of what may be, if we are able to, and nothing's ever perfect in this life. Let me just say that, okay? Because I have said that before. I think everybody knows that. I don't think I have to say, is that no matter what we do, while we're in this physical form and living in this realm of duality, there's always going to be the ebbs and flows. So, it's just part of what it is to be what we are at this time. But in the grand scheme of things, if you can go at that with that understanding, right? If you just imagine you already know that there's duality and there's always going to be ebbs and flows, ups and downs. You know you're going to have times when you feel really happy and you're going to have times when you feel like devastated. So, right, if you know that already and you're understanding that as part of your form and part of your existence, and it gives you all the power to then, we do create the world out there, but it's not just like you individually all the time, right? You just sit there and go, I want this to be like this, and you shake your nose around, twinkle your nose or whatever, and the world out there changes. It doesn't like work that way, right? All the time, because it's bigger than just each individual. We are each part of the totality. So there is, like I always talk about the levels, there is your perception and level, but then there's also higher levels that are creating the rest of the totality that you exist in, that we each exist in. That's why I'm saying how important it is to be aware of that, right? If you know that already, and as the world plays out and things happen, then it puts you in a position of, at least, I would say it puts you in a position of power. Personally, that's how I feel, that it puts you in a position of power to be able to mitigate, to be able to relate to, be able to work with what is out there. And even the times that you feel at your lowest points or feel like whatever, you know that that's part of a bigger purpose, and you're able to not make that your identity and not live with that. You're able to utilize that as a reflection point for a moment. Okay, I'm feeling this. What's it telling me? Do I need to take a step back? Do I need to, to take a step forward? How do I need to change, what I'm doing to get where I'm trying to go? Or, and let me say this, because it's not even about getting to where you want to go. It's, our lives, it's a very interesting thing to me. Through these past years since I moved down to Florida, I've really spent all this time really in a deep state of self-reflection, introspection, observing, trying to be quiet in my mind and let things come to me and such. And and just to say on that it's what the hell was I saying? Damn myself! Hold on, what the hell was I saying? I knew it. I couldn't make it all the way through with one cohesive thought. Hey-o. Man. But yeah, what I'm saying is it gives us power, because okay, that's what I was going to say. Thank you. My shaker reminded me. But our world itself, in a sense, is like, it's not so much about what we accomplish or what we do as much as how we vibrate, right? That's why I'm saying position your mission, because the deeper truth of it all is that, the universe is an existence unto itself beyond all our individual physicalities, right? So we're here. If we're here, we chose to be here. We chose to be here, or however it works, in the sense that we're an expression of a part of a bigger thing. So it's not so much about like anybody has to do anything grand per se. Like, everybody thinks trying to accomplish so much, or how they define success in life and everything else. But the truth of it really is it's how you vibrate, right? Because that's really, because ultimately, going back to there's no time and space, and everything is energy, frequency, vibration. The bigger point, and the more meaningful, I would say, aspect of existing at all is vibrating at a higher level, because the more people that are vibrating in a sense of living with happiness, living from a space of within, and then letting that express what's out there, like understanding that out there is from within here, and working with it from that capacity, instead of the other side of out there is getting me or making me feel bad or anything else like that. So if we work with it from that way, and we keep ourselves at a certain frequency, even in our bad times, we don't have to go down into the total doldrums and like I hate the world or curse at God or anything, right? I'm just saying, like, you realize, and then you still are able to maintain your frequency in such a way that it raises the level of everything. And we're all here. If we're here, there's a mission. That's what is what I'm trying to say. If we're here, there's a mission. There's a reason that we're here. So, and again, it's not about you have to be president. I don't know who would want to be president now. Anyway, the job seems a little tainted after these past number of years, right? But anyways. So, but just in general, it's about you knowing who you are, you getting to the heart of like, geez, you just stop and ask yourself, like, why am I even here? Like, what does it even mean to exist? Like, it's not, does it just mean like you go get, a pizza on a Friday night? Like, I mean, like it's so much bigger. And I just think the way our world is today, and I'm saying all this too, because, the way our world is today is there's so much confusion and there's so much, change going on in so many facets of the structures that we're accustomed to, and not just the structures of like physical structures of, as I say, like our governments or financial structures, but even the structures of our consciousness and how we think and how we perceive and how we move forward. It's not as cut and dry as like, hey, back in the day when, you no crying, toughen up, and all that kind of stuff. I'm saying like these old thought patterns are kind of, there's more compassion. I say, overall, like even though the world seems crazy, right? But people are starting to see things from a different perspective. And it takes all of us one by one, I'm trying to say like one candle kind of lights the next down the road as it goes. And, as more people start to think that way and feel that way, that's why, I mean, again, going back to it's from within here and what is created out there. That's why we're seeing so many changes in our structures and stuff. It's not like just because we got like kookadoos, running the world all over the place between business leaders and politicians and everything else, right? Medical institutions, pharmaceutical companies, like all this kind of stuff. It's not like, it's like them, it's like, they're all that is being talked about and spun and shown in the way it's been because people are thinking differently, and because people are, even if they don't even realize it, because consciousness is rising. So people are feeling something, even if they don't understand what they're feeling exactly. So it does make a difference and how the world is changing out there, because like again what we're seeing is the reflection of what people are waking up to, and we realize that it's not going to work in the way it has been going, so we're going to have to make changes. But it's nothing's 1 2 3, it's not like you wave the magic wand and the world's all a happy place. And again, nothing's ever going to be 100% happy or whatever, right? It's always going to be because that's what it is here. All right, let me go over to my notes real quick. I still talked for 12 minutes, right? Without looking for the notes. But I did want to say some of these things in certain ways. So let me read what I wrote, and we'll see how much I said of what I wanted to say already. So, I wanted to say to exist is to have a mission. I do believe I said that, right? We have a mission by existing. So what is your mission? Who are you? What is your perception of events and life teaching and telling you? So, everything that is happening in your life is a specific purpose. Like even, again, going back to people, in your life, it's like everybody's reflections, everyone is there for a purpose to edge you on your way. And I'm not going to get into deep things on my own personal stuff, but I'll just say, like, just when I have relationships that, something happens and I think I'm close with somebody, and then something kind of happens and I see something in a different way. I look at that as, I could be upset and say, oh, this person or this whatever did me wrong in this type of way, but I never look at it as wrong. I'm like, what a blessing to have this in my life, because the turmoil or the uncomfortability of feeling what I feel based on what I've realized, helps me rise higher. And then I can thank that situation, person, or whatever for that coming into my life to give me greater awareness and actually more strength to say, okay, now that I see this, what is the next step I take? It's not like, oh, somebody owes me, they did something wrong. I never, when people, this is something like when I was younger, I wasn't really good at this. Like I always felt like I had to say something or whatever, but like, I don't do that anymore at all. Like I realize, like when something happens, I just stop, I just stop and I say, I'm not feeding that energy in that way. If it's a positive situation, maybe I will. It's nice to feed positive, right? But either way, we shouldn't get attached to anything, even stuff that seems really, like making you happy, but sometimes it's not, you think it's making you happy on a physical, emotional level in a certain way based on your personality, but, not necessarily for your best interest of your soul mission. That's why I get going back to position your mission. That's why it's so important for you to realize that you are here for a mission, and then try to I'm not saying you have to figure it all out, but at least understanding that you're here for a mission. So if you're here and you're engaged in this capacity, whatever that capacity is for your life, then you're that's what's meant to be. That's how it's meant to flow. So, okay, let me see. And you can change it, of course. I mean, you don't have to, again, it's not about harm. It's not about like some people go, well, my life is, I'm this and I have that, or I'm broke, or I'm this, I don't know, whatever, just I have a bad family, whatever. Right. So, but it's not that. It's not like, but what I'm saying is when those situations happen, you don't have to label it as, oh, I have a bad family, or, oh, I can never make money, or whatever the things that people say that always keep them down. I'm not pretty enough to get a rich husband. You know what I'm saying? Ladies, let me tell you this, though. You don't really have to be that pretty. Guys are pretty desperate out there in general. So, I mean, that's one of the downfalls. I'm going off on a tangent, but that's one of the downfalls I always feel about men, in general, as an observer of the human experience. If guys can just, not give a crap about getting laid, you would never have a damn problem in your life. Yeah, everything would be good. What would there be? There'd be no problems. Guys are just worried about, getting a little action once in a while. Hey-o. And it messes up their whole life. Before they know it, they're working their ass off. Then you wind up with kids and all that. I'm not saying that's bad, but, and then you're married, you got the kids, and before you know it, your wife gets tired of you, and she decides, I don't want to do it no more. She goes to the next guy. You lose everything you got. You can't see your kid anymore, right? I mean, it's just like a crazy... guys, just give up sex, and then you won't have any problems. Believe me, I'm telling you. But I don't know where the hell that went off on a tangent. So let me go back to my notes. Let's see. Like I said this earlier too, the universe is a purpose unto itself. So we are all projections of it. So if we zone in and focus, on that, we can live in harmony with our purpose, and that's the only way to true success. And to being aware of it all. You really want to have true success in your life. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about what things you have. It's not about how many parties you went to. It really is about living in harmony with your purpose and being aware enough to understand that you have a purpose and what that purpose may be, and how the things that are happening in your life are trying to guide you to grow in a certain way. We're not here to be, what's the purpose? You're going to live, you can be the most successful, whatever, and have everything, whether you're a man or woman, you can have the, tons of partners, you can, the most beautiful people in the world, the fanciest restaurants, everything else, what's it all matter at the end? You're going to go through this life and then you're going to be gone. So, it's like, it's so much deeper to think about. So, what else do I got here for this? Okay, I'm just going to read again. Why am I going to explain? Should I just read maybe? Considering the perception that. Hold on here, my screen popped up. Let me get this out of the way so it doesn't distract me. All right, I'm easily distracted, as you can see. Considering the perception that everything is one in its perfection of the projection, our number one purpose is to be aware that we are here, and everything that defines our physical existence is merely a reflection point of remembrance of that. We exist as a perception point to accomplish a mission. There is nothing to be angry, happy, or sad about. There is no time and space. Everything is one ever-changing present moment created by what we do. We have no enemies. There is no separation, just reflections. Oh my God, I should do it this way, the show. Why do I go on and on trying to figure out what I want to say? I should just write it like that. I could be done in like 5 minutes. Hey-o. That's what happens sometimes with me. I get these ideas of what I want to say, and then I'm sitting at night sometimes. I start texting myself. I'm like, I'm never going to remember to say all that like that. I got one more point on this, and then we'll move on. We are each a soul, but we are each a soul, but it is also each of our souls is part of the totality beyond our individual awareness. How each of us, ladies and gentlemen, perceive what is quote unquote happening defines your input into the creation of the present moment. We are all responsible. I like the way I write. What do you guys think? You guys like the way I write? I like the way I write. But it's true. We are all responsible. The choices we make, responsible for our perception and reactions to our perceptions, right? We talk about being responsive and not reactive all the time here as well. And that's when you have that space to be able to to see things and not just be an instant reaction, right? You just kind of, you see, and then you say, okay, and then you figure how you're going to proceed because you're realizing what is it teaching me, what is it telling me, and all that type of stuff that goes along with it. So position your mission, ladies and gentlemen. You got to position your mission. If you want to get your life on track, you got to position your mission. If you want to make your life a fact. I don't know. I tried to find a rhyme there. Hey-o. They can't all be winners, ladies and gentlemen. It's a live stream of consciousness, so we don't know what's happening. I'm just here to be your friend. If you'd like to be friends with me, that would be great. All right. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, let's move on to our guest here on. Let me know what you think, by the way, in the comments of what I'm talking about. And remember, before I let it go, just to say, I say these things. I don't know. I know I talk in circles in certain regard and different things, and I'm not trying to be all like loosey-goosey and just say boo, boo, boo. Like, I really believe in this. I believe in this. I say it because I believe in everyone. Like, the reason I do everything I do, again, like here, social media, all the different things. Like, I'm a kid playing. I like to make some comedy bits. I like to make some music. I like to talk the way I do here on Operation Status Quo. But, I don't know. I just feel guided to do, and it's not even like I'm guided to do because like I'm trying to be something. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the way I put stuff forth like is a way of getting attention, but not that I'm trying to get attention per se. It's like I feel passionate about the message. It's not about like whether people like me or not. I really don't give a shit. Like I do my thing. I'm going to do it my way. But, the way I am with life is you want to try to knock me down, no problem. You could pull the rug out from under me. You could smack me in the head. You can put me down, whatever. But I'm going to get back up and I'm going to keep coming because it doesn't matter because nothing out there is getting me. Like, I might get upset about something or, things happen in life. But ultimately, and I could just think through my whole life and how blessed I have been to be able to have that. Like, younger ages, you could have easily, collapsed and gave up, all of us, right? But I'm blessed. And I feel like I'm blessed to have that tenacity because it's not for me. It's not for me. It's about me being that vibration that I'm talking about when you understand your purpose. It's about me being that vibration so that I can put it out like for other people to hear it and whatever it means to them. It doesn't mean, just whatever it means to you to just feel positive about your life and not look at the outside getting you, but you are the creator. You have all the power. You're the strength. You're the strength within, and to live from that capacity. That's why I do it. I really can give a, I don't know what people think of what I do and say, and if they think I think I'm something, or I'm proud of myself. Just to speak honestly and openly, because I do here on Operation Status Quo. I'm proud of myself of the work I do and the things I put out. I do feel I have skills and talents and abilities, and I'm blessed, and I use them in a joyful, playful way to really just reach others. When I make like one of my little bits or something on social media, even when I do the show, like I'm excited to get it out there and for people to hear it, or not because I'm looking for like how many people say, oh, you did a good job or something like because like I created that. It came from me. It came from my heart, like as a true expression. I'm not asking like, oh, give me $1, and then you can watch my show. Like, I'm not, because I really want to just share. I'm saying, I'm that person that speaks and goes out in this capacity, and not everybody does that, but the feeling, but everybody can have that feeling, that empowerment feeling, that strength from within, that belief that they're more, that not just to believe, to know that you're more, and there's so much in this world that can be accomplished, and that we can all do whatever it is. We're not subjugated to the outside sources and whatever it is in your life, but people, places, things, jobs, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it's all you. It's all each of us. And, just stand strong in who you are and be that and just live it. And, I'm just saying, and then like life gives you what you need to exist because you're here on a mission. And, ultimately life wants you to accomplish the mission, right? That's why you're here and the universe is working with you. So let's not fight against it. Let's get into the inside, work it to the outside, be kind to each other, be kind to ourselves first and foremost, forgiving and loving to ourselves, and then share that forgiving and lovingness to others as we go through our day. Even people like, just a quick example. I know I'm really rambling here. Quick example though, like with these painters working here, it's been like 2 weeks or something. They're still like shit around, and and then I could get agitated and go like, whoa, they should be done there. And then I say to myself, like, what purpose does that serve? Like, they're out there, they're working hard. You know what I mean? It's freaking hot as hell. They're climbing ladders, painting buildings. And I'm just saying, like, how does it help by me going, oh, you left a piece of tape up there? I'll just go get the piece of tape, right? You know what I'm saying? I'll just go out there and get the piece of tape that they left, when they put the plastic up and stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of going, oh, I pay my HOA. That's what a lot of people do. I hear people talk. Well, that's why you pay your HOA. You tell them to do it. Like, yeah, I don't believe in that. It's like, if it's a situation that something really egregious happens, you got to, but in general, it's like, right? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to make a fight all the time? Is it worth it to create a problem? I don't know. I don't think so. So, live with love in our hearts. Remember, you're on a mission. Give yourself a break and all that type of stuff. And that's it. I'm going to let that go. Woo! Let's change the tune. Remember that in Heyo. It's in The Fifth Element when what's his name when he goes, I recognize this music. Let's change the tune. When he puts the bomb on the what's the guy's name? I always forget his damn name. I love that guy too. The guy who played he played a bunch of stuff, But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. He goes, I recognize this music. He puts the bomb on the wall. He starts to let's change the tune. So that's what you can do. Change the tune. All right. I have kept my guest waiting long enough, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go over now. For those of you who follow me on social media, you will know this person. This is Mama Vincenzo, ladies and gentlemen, and she's a friend of Operation Status Quo. She's been having some difficulties with her son, it seems, and she, wanted to reach out and speak to me. Because I'm a good shoulder to cry on and that type of thing, right? I listen well. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the OSQ satellite right now. We're going to check in with Mama Vincenzo. Hello, Mama Vincenzo. Are you there? Oh, my God, it's such a nice of you to have me on the show, Pietro. Oh, I'm so blessed to be on the Operation Status Quo. It's so beautiful. Mama Vincenzo, it's so great to have you here. Thank you for taking the time.
Heyo.
So, we spoke briefly before you came on, and, you told me, I'll just let you get into it, but I guess you're having a little problem with your son? What's going on?
Mama Vincenzo, she a lover her son, her sweetest son, Vincenzo. He is such a beautiful boy. I love him so much. When he was a little baby, I used to put him in the tub and I wash him. I had a special rag. Mama had a special rag and she would clean him so good. I clean all his cracks and crevices and I wipe up his balls. It's so nice and I make him shine. But then he grow up, he forget the mama. He start to work so hard. He start to do these things. Mama get a little bit nervous about what he's doing now.
Oh, so his line of work is making you nervous? What's he doing?
Well, he does a little things on the side, he work a little with the gambling, he work a little bit with a collection, little collection services that he do, but, he used to be so much nicer to Mama, but Mama want to talk to him, want to see him, want to spend the time with him, but, he don't come and see a Mama.
Well, Mama Vincenzo, people do get older sometimes, and life goes that way, right? So I don't think he probably doesn't necessarily mean any harm towards you. I just figure, if he's busy, he's an adult, right? That's probably what's going on.
I don't know, Pietro. I'm so scared for my son. I don't know what's gonna happen. I sometimes.
Hey, Ma, who you talking to in there?
Oh my God, it's him. I gotta go before he see me talking to you. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Mama Vincenzo. Oh my God, that sounded a little scary there at the end. Oh boy.
Heyo.
Well, I hope he's doing. I hope it turns out all right for Mama Vincenzo. But Mama Vincenzo has been a great supporter of Operation Status Quo and has also been doing some great work on the social media. So go over to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, I should say, TiK Tok. I got the TiK Tok now. So go do all those things, and you could catch up with Mama Vincenzo over there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do just a couple because it is I'm going going to break the 30 minutes anyway, so we'll go real quickly and do a little bit of the news you need not know. That's right, because who really gives a crap about some of this nonsense out there? But we don't talk about serious stuff because the serious stuff is nonsense, and we don't want to waste our time with that. So let's do this one. A library book, ladies and gentlemen, returned after 82 years, and the note says, Grandma won't be able to pay for it anymore. So I guess Grandma passed away. This is out of San Antonio, ladies and gentlemen. A library book has been returned nearly 82 years after it was borrowed from the San Antonio Public Library. It came with a letter noting that Grandma won't be able to pay for it anymore. The book is Your Child, His Family and Friends by marriage and family counselor Francis Bruce Strain. That's funny. Strain is the last name. It's like a marriage counselor. Yeah, because, marriage puts a strain on your life. So do the kids. It's seriously, families are beautiful. I don't mean that as bad as it sounds, but, we're just making stereotypical jokes. It was checked out in July of 1943 and returned this past June from a person in Oregon, the library said in a news release. The library actually created a news release to talk about this. It's like, anyway, after the recent death of my father, I inherited a few boxes of books he left behind, the person wrote in a letter that was shared by the library on Instagram. The book was a guide for parents on helping their children navigate personal relationships. It was checked out when the person's father was 11 years old. So the book, the pop-up ads, go away. Okay. The book must have been borrowed by my grandmother, blah, blah, blah. They give her name, but I don't have to read her name. In that year, she transferred to Mexico City to work at the U.S. Embassy. She must have taken the book with her for then some 82 years later, it ended up in my possession. This is the guy who returned the book saying that. The book had received write-ups in various newspapers at the time, blah, 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 blah. The Cincinnati Enquirer described in June 1943 as a complete guidebook to personal, okay, it says all this about the book, blah, 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 blah. The person who returned the book wrote in the letter, I hope there is no late fee because Grandma won't be able to pay for it anymore. Grandma is dead, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have to worry about it now anyway. People don't read anymore like books. Heyo. Everything's on whatever, your Kindle, or you just go online, just like I'm doing this here. Let's see if we have one more. Let's see here. Oh, let's just do this one. We'll finish with this. An Australian lawyer apologizes for AI-generated errors in a murder case. It's like, oops, sorry about that. We were trying to create legitimate evidence, and we just figured we wanted to get this guy arrested, so we just made it up in AI. But let's see. It's in Melbourne, Australia. A senior lawyer in Australia has apologized to a judge for filing submissions in a murder case that included fake quotes and non-existent case judgments generated by artificial intelligence. The blunder in the Supreme Court of Victoria State is another in a litany of mishaps of AI caused in the justice systems around the world. So I don't know, people are using AI to take people to court, and they're making stuff up, I guess. I mean, see, this is why I don't think AI is a bad thing, but you have to be aware of what's going on, right? And we have to be able to discern what's real and what's not. The defense lawyer in the case, who holds the prestigious legal title of King's Counsel, took full responsibility for filing incorrect information in submissions in the case of a teenager charged with murder, according to the court documents. We are deeply sorry and embarrassed for what occurred. Well, how did it occur? I mean, you used AI and generated a bunch of stuff. You're going to tell me you didn't check what you were submitting to the court of whether it was like actual fact or not? Maybe now they should generate a whole AI case against this guy and put him away for a while. I wonder what happens. They apologized at the risk of an understatement. The manner in which these events have unfolded is unsatisfactory. Yeah, of course it's unsatisfactory, but that's it. They don't say what happened to the lawyer or anything. The lawyer didn't get in trouble. I don't know. Is this what's going on in the world today, ladies and gentlemen? For goodness sake. For goodness sake. So be good. For goodness sake. Heyo. All right. That's what we got for you here today on Operation Status Quo. I think we did all right. I mean, I felt a little subdued today, but, like I say, it is what it is. I'm a man of the people. I'm here for you. I love you guys out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. If you haven't done so far already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and, of course, those you despise as well. Did I say I love you already? I could say it again because it doesn't matter. Please check out pete.palma.com. Don't forget to check me out on all the socials. All right. And until next time, Operation Status Quo disengaged.
Is a boulevard of 10 short blocks.